Welcome back. So now we can create an auth user in the backend. So let's open up for the front end to actually use that so we can start creating real users in our web page. So I'll start right here by jumping into my HTML, the create auth user. Notice I just added a form right here like we did earlier with the login. The only difference is that I don't have the password here anymore. I only have a username. And then I changed the submit button into being a create in the name. And I changed the method that we're going to call when we call create to actually call create method here as well. And the final thing is I added a small message down here so we can write to the user, a new user was just created for you, happy days. Another thing I did was I added a new area right here, the message class inside the CSS. And that's just to kind of show another color if it's a message compared if it's an error. So nothing big there either. If I jump down to the create auth component right here, what I did was actually I used the exact same thing that we did with the login form, nothing new there. And then a new thing is that I changed here that we need to create a create auth user right here in the auth service. So I haven't done that yet, we'll do that in a second. There I'll pass in an auth user DTO, and the auth user DTO I created him down here. He's pretty much just a user that can have an ID which is allowed to be null or undefined, and a username. So that's how we set up that auth user. And then I pass that to the backend right here. That's what we're going to build soon. When we get a reply back, I either catch an error if something goes wrong like we did earlier, or I actually go in and take the auth user. Right now I'm not using him, so we can just hide this. But if you want to, you could use the auth user like this. I can also just remove him. And then I'm going to reset the form when he's created. I'm going to remove the error if there's any error. And then I'm going to set up a message saying new user created. That's all I have to do for now inside the component. All we need now is to figure out how we can actually create the auth user in our system. So let's go and generate this method right here to create an actual auth user. The message is down here now, and I need to import the auth user. Let's just do that. There we go. And I also need to kind of explain what I'm going to return. And in my case, I'm going to return observable. And actually for now, let's just return auth user DTO here as well. We could always, again, go and change these to whatever we want to return. If you want to be more specific about what you return, go and change it. It just has to match what you're getting as JSON from the backend when you're actually done right here. So what's next? Well, then I want to start using my HTTP right here. So I'll do this.http, and I want to make a request right here. And it's a post request. And then I need the path right here for this post request. And luckily, we pretty much already have it up here. All I have to do is kind of use that path. And then I just need to add one more thing, which is going to be create, because that's the name that we used for our backend. I'll do a comma, and then I'll pass that auth user that I just created in my system right here. And that's pretty much all we have to do. The problem is that when we're getting something back, we need to explain to the post method what we're actually getting back. And I want to explain that I'm going to get an auth user DTO back when I did this request right here. And that's all we had to do. Now we actually create the new request, and we're able to send it to the backend, hopefully. We could start working with tapping into the data, but since there's nothing coming back that we need to take care of down here in the create user, I'm not going to add anything else right here for now. Good, let's try and jump back, and now everything should be green. Let's try and go into our application and see if everything is running. There we go. Let's jump into the browser and just have a look. It seems I need to log in, which makes perfect sense. So I'll just do a login right here. We have not guarded ourselves yet against these pages, but we'll do that later. For now, I also have to kind of put in the path here manually, which I'll also fix in the next lesson. But I should be able to go into auth, and what was the name of it? Let's just find our route right here, create, right? Yeah, auth/create. And notice this is not the same as the backend. This is different than the backend because this is for the front end routing. It has nothing to do with the backend routing. There we go. So now we have this available. And let's just clear this to see that we actually send a request when we are creating a new user right here. Let's make a jinx here as well, like we did earlier with Swagger. We'll create, and new user was created. Sweet. Let's make another one. Let's make a create him, and new user was created. There we go. So now we have a way to create users at least. There's still a lot of things we need to cover, but for now we can try and use jinx. So I'll log out right here, and I'll log in with jinx. And notice our system is slowly starting to be more and more evolved right here. We can do more and more things. And let's just put in the right password. So there we go. And there we go. We have jinx. We can save his password, and now he's available here as well. He's just logged in. Happy days. And we even tested that if I put in the wrong password, he failed to log in. So that's perfectly fine. And that's all we had to do this lesson. So let's just end it right here and just be happy that we now have a way to create auth users as well. Maybe the next thing would be to kind of a way to see all the available users in our system. So we're going to start looking into that. See you next time. Bye.